It is a team of human soldiers who respond to Cybertronian threats. What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, and you're watching The Road to TF5. This is just a web series we're talking about Transformers last night. This is episode number 75, and we're going to start off with a couple of birthday shoutouts, and the happy birthday shoutouts go out to Jamie Lazenby and also MC Firestriker. Happy birthday to all y'all. Hope you have a good one. Thank you for being part of the Ragin Nation. Now, before I talk about the filming in England, I would like to address a mistake that I made in the previous episode, episode number 74, and that is in this photo of Anthony Hopkins inside this red McLaren 570S, I mentioned that he was on the passenger side of the vehicle. I was completely wrong. That's my bad. I apologize for that. I read through the comments and then I realized that he's not on the passenger side, he's on the driver's side, because in England, they drive on the right side. The driver's side is on the right side of the vehicle, whereas in North America, the driver's side is on the left side of the vehicle. So that is my bad. I apologize for that mistake. And that totally changes things up, because my original theory was that if he was on the passenger side, then he was captured by a Decepticon. He's being held against his will and he's being kidnapped. But this changes things up completely. If he's on the driver's side, then that could mean that this red McLaren S is, I'm just throwing it out there, and this is my new theory, my new revised theory, that it is a Cybertronian protector or a guardian. Maybe the red McLaren 570S is a Cybertronian that was assigned to Anthony Hopkins' character, or rather a Cybertronian that was passed on for many, many, many generations, and as it was passed through all the different generations as a guardian, it's changed its alt mode. And in 2016, or rather 2017, its alt mode is now a red McLaren 570S. So that red McLaren 570S is the guardian of Anthony Hopkins, and that's why he's on the driver's side, driving with the window rolled down. Now, this leads me to also wonder about his character, because his role is very, very mysterious, and I think that he's going to be a mysterious character, as in right away we don't know if he's going to be a good guy or a bad guy. He could be a bad guy. We don't know anything about his character. And in the previous films, Transformers: Dark of the Moon, we've seen Sentinel Prime be a bad guy. Like, he starts off as a good guy, but then he betrays the Autobots. And then the character of Dylan, played by Patrick Dempsey, he starts off good, but then we know that he's a bad guy. We just know he's a bad guy. And then there's Kelsey Grammer's character in Transformers Age of Extinction. We know he's a bad guy right away. He starts off as a bad guy right at the beginning of the film. Now, to change things up, I think that they could possibly make Anthony Hopkins' character a mysterious character. Like, we don't know. We just don't know until much later on in the movie. Like, you think he's a good guy, but he's could end up being a bad guy. But we don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. It's just a theory. So that's what I have to say about that. Now, another thing that I'd like to address is I just want to follow up on this little talk I had with Courtney Richardson about time travel. Now, I said that time travel is not going to exist because because she mentioned that there was absolutely no evidence of time travel. I absolutely agree with her. There's no evidence of time travel. But time travel is something that existed in the past. Because the ability to transport from one place to another in no time whatsoever, that is bending space and time. And essentially, that's time travel, because you went from point A to point B, which is like a very, very long distance, in no time whatsoever. And how did they achieve that? Through space bridge technology, something that they use in Revenge of the Fallen from Jetfire, and also using the pillars in Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to use space bridge technology to time travel back and forth in Transformers The Last Night. The comment I would like to follow up on for the topic of time travel is that I don't believe that characters from modern day, whether it be Cybertronians or humans, are going to time travel back in time. I don't think they're going to travel back in time from the modern day to the past, but it's still possible that an evil Cybertronian, whether it be a Predaking or a three-headed dragon Megatron, can travel from the past to modern times. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there's travel to the past, but I think there's possibly the possibility that we could see time travel from the past to modern day. So I just want to address that. Anyways, so let's talk about the filming of Transformers last night. And I think a lot of people are probably wondering at this point in time, where the heck is Tyrese? We've seen Josh Duhamel, and they did mention that Tyrese is going to be back to reprise his role as Sergeant Epps. So where is he? Well, I think that he's going to be joining the team very, very soon. After all, he did tweet this image, and it shows the script of Transformers last night, and it's confidential, but there's an Autobot symbol there, so that this is obviously trying to, I guess, show the fans that he is back. And I don't mean back by like, okay, yeah, he's going to be in it, but he's back as in he's going to start filming very, very soon. Now, what's very, very interesting about this is that I don't believe that Tyrese was ever considered to be a part of this. It was only because he kept on begging Michael Bay, and then Michael Bay just told the writers that, okay, just add him to the script. And the reason why we haven't seen him is because he's a last-minute addition. And I think he's going to only be called back just when it's time to fight. Okay? I think that his character is not going to have very much depth to his character. Is not going to be very much development. I think that he's a character that's just going to show up as reinforcements. Like, as in, like, Lennox is going to call Epps and says, "Hey, where you at? You got your gear and weapons ready?" And then he's going to say, "Yep, I got it." And then he's going to show up at the battle. And that's what I think is going to happen. Okay? And that's just a theory of mine, but it's just kind of obvious because he's appearing so late in the game. As a matter of fact, he hasn't even appeared yet. We're still waiting for that. So anyways, moving on. Let's talk about how they're filming this movie. Obviously, we've seen that new red Bayhem camera. And, well, I was always wondering, are they going to be filming in IMAX 3D with actual IMAX cameras, or are they just going to do a digital media remastering, which is where they just convert it. They remaster the digital film for a expanded for an expanded screen, making it look crystal clear even on a giant IMAX screen. I thought they were going to do that, but apparently, based on this photo that was shared by Just Living Life hashtag SPC, they're shooting with IMAX cameras, and not only IMAX cameras, IMAX 3D cameras. Super, super excited about that. I can't wait to see these robots fight and big car chases and explosions on the giant big screen. If you are living near a theater with an IMAX screen, you are going to be a very, very lucky fan. Okay? Alright, so let's talk about the filming that was going on in London, and we are going to first give a big Instagram shout out to Aaron09345 because he's got an amazing gallery of photos. Like, this is a great gallery of photos. Thank you for posting all these photos of the filming of Transformers of the last night in London, because not only are these great photos, but he's got some really great videos. First of all, there's this video of Bumblebee and Hot Rod rolling out as brothers in arms. And they're rolling out in the streets of London. Very, very awesome, okay? And also, of course, with this being a Michael Bay movie, there's going to be explosions. And there's a great video of these cars just blowing up. And then they get lifted right up into the air. It's an amazing shot. They just go up in the air, big explosions, and very traditional Michael Bay style. So very, very cool. I want to give a shout out to Tim Nicholson. And Tim Nicholson tweeted at me and said, Cogman's number plate has KSI on it. And then I said, show me. And then here's that photo right there as photographic proof that his license plate does in fact have the words KSI in it. In fact, the first three letters are KSI. Check this out. There it is, KSI 6WVD. That is the silver Aston Martin, which is rumored as Cogman. I believe that's a concept name, but this is proof that this is a existing KSI technology. This is a KSI prototype, and he's either that this is a KSI prototype that is in a branch of KSI in England, or this is a leftover KSI prototype survivor from Hong Kong. So either way, it's one of Joshua Joyce's technology, one of his creations, and what role this character is going to play, I'm not really sure. I think it could be a small role. After all, the KSI prototypes were pretty nameless and meaningless. They were really just bad guy fodder, and they just blew up in the end. Like, they were just things for Autobots to destroy. So I'm wondering if this is going to play like a similar role. But the thing is that there's only one of them. We haven't seen any other KSI prototypes rolling out. It's only just the silver Aston Martin, which we're going to call Cogman for now, but he's part of the Joe Blow plot leak. You know what I'm saying? So there is some significance there, and maybe they're actually going to have a single KSI prototype actually redeem itself as an evil character. All right, I don't know. But anyways, thanks Tim Nicholson for sharing that with me. That's pretty cool. I want to give a YouTube account shout out to HughBoo6. And if you check out this video here, I'm going to leave you the link on the description box below. There's some great filming. He got up close and personal of the filming in London. And what we see here is something that has been missing from the rest of the Autobot team. And that is crosshairs and also drift. Here you can see them in a trailer, a double-decker trailer. And also, I mean, this is covered up, but it's obviously Hound. This is so obvious that it's going to be Hound. And we haven't seen them rolling out with Bumblebee, Hot Rod, even the 570, McLaren 570S. So that tells me that their role in this London sequence is going to be kind of small. We haven't seen too many videos or photos of them doing anything in the streets of London. So I'm thinking that not only is their role going to be small as vehicles, but they're going to show up more as robots in their robot mode. So that could be happening. The London sequence is focused a lot on Hot Rod, Bumblebee, and Barricade, the red McLaren 570S, and also the Aston Martin DB11. So that is very, very interesting. And also, something that I'd like to mention, if you watch the rest of this video, there's this image right here. Well, actually, this part of the video which says, property of Transformers Reaction Force. We now know what TRF stands for. Now, many videos ago, like a couple months ago, I asked you guys, what do you think TRF stands for? And you guys mentioned things like Transformers Response Force, Transformers Recon Force, and actually I've seen some of you guys actually guess that it means that Transformers Reaction Force. Well, you guys give yourself a round of applause, a pat on the back, because it is Transformers Reaction Force. So if you guessed that, thumbs up to you. Alright, so we now know what it stands for. And obviously, by Transformers Reaction Force, it is a team of human soldiers who respond to Cybertronian threats. I guess whether it be Autobot, or Decepticon, or KSI. So they're the guys to call. So I'm hoping they have sufficient firearm technology to take them down, because it'd be useless or pointless to have human soldiers that can't do crap, just like they did in the most of Transformers, the first film in 2007. Anyway, once again, I'm going to leave you the link to in the description box below for that video. Now we are in the middle of September, and the filming has actually moved on to Northern England. And what are they filming in Northern England? Well, this is where it gets very, very interesting. They're filming at castles. Of course, England has a lot of castles because back in, I don't know what time period, but the medieval time period, they had knights in armor, and they lived in castles, and a lot of really cool stuff that we've seen in a lot of movies went down during this time period, and that is medieval times. So they are going to, of course, be filming scenes which involve a medieval time period. So to recreate that, they of course have to show up at castles, and one of the castles that they filmed at was the Bamberg Castle. And I checked them out on Twitter, and there's some photos there, very, very cool. And if you scroll down through the Twitter feed, it says, just a reminder that we are closed from the 14th to the 19th of September, inclusive for a major filming project. Sorry, but we had to do it. So they're closed for tourists. They're closed for filming, and they can't allow any tours to happen. But you know what? It's going to be worth it because it's going to have that sort of authenticity because they're filming in a real castle. That's going to be pretty awesome. Even at the Bamberg Castle Inn, they also mentioned that they're excited about the filming. Exciting filming for blockbuster film taking place at our namesake Bamberg Castle, which means it's closed to its visitors this week. So that is definitely not happening. And also, Shibachan85 on Instagram posted, 1 hour drive from Newcastle to Bamberg, and the castle was closed. What a disappointment, but it's because they were filming for freaking Transformers 5 the last night. Oh my god! I was so disappointed until I heard what movie they were filming, anything for Optimus Prime. So that's obviously a little bit disappointing. You're driving for an hour from Newcastle and then you find out it's closed for filming. Should have checked out the Twitter feed. But the fact that they know that the Autobots are there and explosions are going to go off, that's a pretty big deal. Now, what were they filming at Bamberg Castle? And, well, I assume right away that, well, of course they're going to be filming some medieval scenes. And, well, this was shared by Dean Kelly on Twitter, and it appears it is, in fact, medieval scenes which involve knights. And check this out here. We have this photo right here. There are a couple of knights gathered around. I'm not sure what exactly is going on. And then here's Bamberg Castle lit up. And there's a lot of people, there are a lot of crew. This is going to be a pretty big deal. And I think that it's maybe they're preparing for the Saxon invaders. Obviously, there was a scene that's going to be filmed later on this month, which involves King Arthur's knights doing battle with Saxon invaders. Let's check out some more scenes. Here's another one. There's a castle wall, and here's some studio lighting just to light it up. So there you have it. That was being filmed at Bamberg Castle. Moving on, another castle they were filming it is Alnwick Castle. And if you check out the Twitter feed, it says, visitor notice, Alnwick Castle is closed to visitors 14th to 17th of September with some restricted access around these dates. And here's the website for Alnwick Castle. And it says that will be closed 14, 15, 16, and 17 due to filming. So, sorry for the inconvenience. But this is a pretty big deal, okay? Some of the filming that was going on at Alnwick Castle involved Autobots. So here's the cool part. At Bamberg Castle, they were filming scenes which take place in medieval times with knights. Now, in Alnwick Castle, it appears that they're filming modern day times because you see Hot Rod and Bumblebee rolling out for their scenes at Alnwick Castle. So obviously, you know, the stories that took place in medieval times translates over to modern day times. So there's going to be, I guess that callback to whatever that story element is. That is the significant part that I guess is the revelation. There's something obviously discovered or something introduced in the medieval times, and then later on there's that discovery of what that significant part means in modern times, and obviously they're filming that in Alnwick Castle. Now, check this out. This is an article from Daily Mail UK, and I'll just read you the headline. Mark Wahlberg morphs into character alongside Sir Anthony Hopkins as production on Transformers 5 gets off to a booming start in the UK. So now there's photos. We see Anthony Hopkins, Mark Wahlberg, and this motion capture actress, and and Freya, the dog. And they're going to be part of this scene. There's the IMAX 3D camera. And what's, of course, very, very interesting is that they're doing a scene together. So this shows that Sir Anthony Hopkins and Mark Wahlberg are having a conversation. We don't know what the conversation is about. We don't even know what this motion capture actress is going to be representing. But could this mean that Sir Anthony Hopkins could be a good guy? Maybe he's somebody's really, really mysterious and we don't know what his agenda or his motives are. But anyways, There's Mark Wahlberg. It looks like he's gone through some battle. After all, there's some there's tears on his shirt. It looks like it's being ripped. Here's some more scenes with Anthony Hopkins and Mark Wahlberg, and there is that mocap actress once again. And Freya appears to be the dog of Sir Anthony Hopkins. So that's where she's going to play her role. But it's very, very interesting that this is taking place at Alnwick Castle. I would imagine that they would revisit Bamberg Castle to play out the modern scenes, like the modern versions of the scenes there. But looks like it's not happening. Bamberg Castle is for medieval times. Alnwick Castle is for modern times. So there you have it. That's all I got to say in this video. A lot of stuff has been going on. Obviously filming at the castles. And also we found out that the Aston Martin DB11 is a KSI vehicle. And of course the McLaren 570S is rolling out with Anthony Hopkins. And I say with because they appear to be working together. Anthony Hopkins is the driver for that red McLaren S, and I hope it transforms. But I really, really hope it's actually a Cybertronian and not just a flashy vehicle that's just there for the sake of marketing it. I hope it's a Cybertronian because, you know, it never hurts to add more characters, like Cybertronian characters to a Transformers film, as long as you don't add too many. So we're going to move on to questions. Let's do Twitter questions. If you tweet it at me with the hashtag TheRoadToTF5, I will do my best to get to your question. Juan Flores asks, since we don't see Optimus alongside the Autobots, does that mean he will have a small role in the film? Very, very good question. We don't see Optimus Prime in a lot of the filming for Transformers. Last night he appears a lot in the American filming, but not so much in anything else. So does that mean he's going to have a smaller role? I believe he's going to physically appear less in this film, but when he has to appear later on, like when the time comes, it's going to be a big impact. So yes, he will have a small role, but he's going to end it in a big way. If you pay close attention, this film focuses a lot on Bumblebee. I think this is the film which makes its big transition where we let go of our attachment of Optimus Prime and get more attached to Bumblebee so we can transition to Transformers 6, which is a Bumblebee solo film. And this is the film that helps us transition into that. So that's what I believe. The Gauge asks, if the makers appear in this movie, do you think it will set up the Unicron story arc? Very, very good question. And by makers, he means the creators, aka the Quintessons from G1. Do I think it'll make up the Unicron story arc? Absolutely. If they actually do appear, if the makers or the creators do appear, and I think we're going to briefly get some sort of reference to them, whether it be actual physical evidence or just a reference to them as in conversation. And I think Anthony Hopkins is going to know something about the creators. I think he will mention them. But anyways, if we do get to see them or get reference to them, the whole point is to reference, or rather, set it up for Unicron. Just like how the Avengers sets it up for Thanos. I totally believe that. We're not going to see Unicron in Transformers Last Night, but it's definitely setting it up for that for the future Transformers sequels. So that's what I believe is going to happen. The Riddler 24 Wilson asks, "Hey Alex, will Hot Rods will speak in the movie?" Yes, he will. I believe he's going to have an English accent. He's part of the Autobot team, so he's obviously got to communicate somehow. And I think one character that is not able to speak and speaks through the radio is good enough. Let that just be Bumblebee. As for the rest of the characters, which includes Hot Rod, make them speak, okay? Final questions from Mike Snow. Do you think the Dinobots will speak in this movie if they appear in it? If the Dinobots actually do appear in Transformers Last Night, yes, I think they will speak, but their speaking will be kept to a minimal. I don't believe that the Dinobots are major players in this film, and because of that, their speaking will be kept to a bare minimum to fall in line with the way they are, or the way they were in Transformers Age of Extinction. I think their lines will be kept to one-liners or just some expressions, like as in die. You know what I'm saying? I think that's all they're gonna have, and that's just because of the way they were introduced in Age of Extinction. To go from no lines to tons of lines, I think it's just a weird thing. So I think just to have them have limited lines, I think that's a better transition. Okay? So anyways, that's it for questions. I'm finally going to do Twitter shoutouts and we're done. If you follow me on Twitter and if you retweeted my video, then I will give you a shoutout randomly. Shoutout goes out to Lord Jarryd McGregor, Joshua Miller, Mario77, Dansbro, Samsu, or aka Richard Tyson, Eddie Lanes, and also Jamal Williams. Thank you for following me and retweeting my video on Twitter. I really, really appreciate that. And I just want to say to you guys that we're going to change things up a bit. If you share my video on Facebook, all you got to do is click the share button after I post it on the Ragin Nation Facebook page. Then I will randomly give 10 people a shout out on the next video. So share this video, show some support, and I really, really appreciate it. And that's all I got to say in this video. I hope you enjoyed it because there's going to be more videos and we're going to talk about a lot more stuff. So there you have it. That's all I got to say in this video. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name's Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Keep in mind that the production obviously wants to make this film bigger than Age of Extinction. So one way they